Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Starfox, and I'm here again with an episode of the SPT Show to talk today with you guys about graphics and performance in Tarkov. That's right. I'm gonna run in here real fast and crouch and hit my tilde key and do FPS space 1, enter. And pull up my frame count in the top right corner there, and also get out of the patrol stance that I have bound to the enter key, which I might rebind after today now that I've done that. But yes, as per the voting that I did in my community tab, I asked you guys what kind of things you would like me to talk about next in Tarkov, and one of the top ones was graphics and performance, and I get a lot of comments asking about those things as well. Mostly, I'm going to go over the easy things that I think that most of us can do to improve performance and frame rate in Raid, at least in the better optimized maps, if you know what I mean, like customs and smaller ones like factory, etc., and not so much the tougher ones like places filled with much more things and where more spawns can happen, like in the reserve or in the streets of Tarkov, which always run a little bit slower for me. Sometimes I get fortunate at reserve and things run pretty smoothly. But today I've taken some steps to ensure that we'll be able to see a little bit of variation, especially in terms of the other videos that I've posted in this series, because most of them I've been able to keep at pretty good performance, and this time I'm trying to increase it even more. So as you can see right now, I'm getting 108 frames as I hold still over here in the storage area in the customs. That's with, it looks like, a little bit of fog running, and obviously clouds and maybe a rain chance or something like that. What I have done, if I go into this menu here and check the donut settings, I've chosen the no PMCs scenario, so that there won't be any PMCs running around with their crazy modified weapons, doing a whole lot of shooting and everything. I've disabled the despawn option, and this is, when enabled, removes the furthest bot from the player for each new dynamic spawn bot. So this is like the mod AI limit, in a way. And if I wasn't using Donuts and Sane right now, I would probably be using a mod called AI Limit, and it was much more useful before all of the updates to the bigger mods took place. I actually think, I'm not certain, let me back into my usual hiding spot for looking at the Bepinex menu. I want to say, and I haven't confirmed this, I want to say that there is a setting in one of these presets for, oh, it does kind of like, it does stutter when I switch presets. But that's fine, it obviously isn't a problem. I also think that when I hit pause, it doesn't actually pause the game. I've been getting some comments and I've had some experiences in game that show that that doesn't actually work, but I'll try that again later. Global general settings? Bush, no. Headshot protection, no. I don't think, maybe, I'm not entirely certain about that. Either way, I feel like right now with this configuration, if you were to use Sane and Donuts plus Swag in the 3.6.1 version of SPT, you would find yourself having conflicts. Whoa. That was pretty lucky. I'd say he almost got me, but I was on the ball with that one. The ready aim really changes a lot of things, makes it easier to aim down the center of the screen for me. But, yeah. Did I hit it? Oh, I did get him in the head. Oof. Grizzly. Grizzly Adams. Okay. Ugh. I'm sorry, I've forgotten what I was talking about while that happened, because I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna get brained right now at the very beginning of my explanation for all this stuff? Anyways, I think I was talking about Sane and Donuts. AI Limit. If you use AI Limit with Sane and Donuts right now, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have conflicts, because it's going to interfere with the spawning rate, or spawning amount even, like the amount of bots that spawn in. And those clashes and conflicts will cause bots not to spawn in certain ways or in certain times, which may mean that you'll have an empty map. And that requires some further research, but it's important to have that function in the game, from one of the mods at least, because a whole bunch of bots just running around doing their own thing, like, I don't know, more than 200 or 300 meters away from me when I'm looting a location, or if I'm trying to clear out a specific section of the map, just doesn't mean anything at all. Their fighting and dying and looting each other isn't going to change anything for the better for my experience here in Tarkov. It might not even necessarily make it more difficult, because I might go over there to find, you know, eventually if I another 20 minutes in, manage to make it all the way across the map, for example, I may just find that a number of bots have killed each other in such a way that they haven't been looted, you know? So there's just a bunch of bodies around, full of loot. And when PMCs are active in the map, that means that PMCs with their awesome gear and modified weapons and somewhat immersion-breaking stuff will also litter the ground. If by some chance a couple manage to get blown up by a grenade or 2 trade killed or something like that and there's still a fully loaded corpse on the ground, it could compromise a 0 to hero run for immersion's sake. So far so good with this Donuts preset. I definitely think that a lack of PMCs on the map is going to bring performance up for sure. We already know about the bugs revolving around... Oh, I thought I heard like tapping over here. That's weird. Maybe that's not in game. Maybe that's in my actual real world. Maybe there's somebody doing some construction nearby. But yeah, so we all know about the bugs regarding like sounds and emission in the game, like when a bunch of guns are going off, bullet strike sounds, explosions, etc. The game tends to slow down on weaker systems, and even on higher end systems that are just suffering from either the bad luck of Tarkov, the game, or maybe they're having like a memory situation. Whoa. I'm just gonna be ready to blast him in case he should. Oh, he's going back. Okay. Can I hit him from here? Yes, I can. He's like, oh no! Have you ever, oh my god, have you ever like tried to put a key in a lock? Oh, that's what's happening. I am such a fool. The whole time, I've had my speakers on. I'm so sorry if the audio was a little weird up to that point. I was like, what am I hearing? I'm hearing the speakers doubling my audio. If that showed up on my microphone, I am very sorry. Hopefully they were low enough to not actually cause much of a problem and you don't have to hear that. But I'll do some editing to guarantee that it's a little bit smoother in the meantime. Anyway, like I was going to say in regards to what just happened on the stairway there, what looked like happened to him was when I get up to the door and try to put the key in, but for some reason I'm fumbling because I don't have like a first-person camera at the tip of the key and I don't get it into the slot like right away. Just stab the door a few times with the key trying to get it in. That's almost what looked like it happened with this fella. Except I know that that door is not locked. Like, in universe, he probably was trying to get up there and he's like, he's a scav, because all the bots on this map right now are scavs. So he was, oh my god, my leg! Oh no! Return fire! I'm hit! Oh crap, and I'm out. Oh no! Get it! Run, I know it hurts! Oh, he's coming! Whoa! Sidearm, sidearm, sidearm! Injection now. Stop the bleeding. Ah! I'm hit bad. Use another injector. Magic healing juice for the SPT realism mod. Reload. Oh no, I was joking about how incapable scavs were and I got blasted standing out at the out in the open at the base of that stairway and I lost a leg for it. Did you see that when I went prone? That's the SPT realism mod like I talked about before. That can be fully disabled. I can make it so that I as the player cannot be thrown prone or disarmed by gunfire, but I mean, who wants that, right? Playing Tarkov is all about punishment and opting into it and backing up why the game should be so much more difficult for myself. Other people who don't play Tarkov must look at us and be like, what in the world are they doing? Don't they want to have fun instead? Shouldn't games be fun? And the answer is yes, they should be fun. And I hate to say it, but this is indeed fun. Especially when you've spent a lifetime playing games that are less interesting, less dynamic, have fewer features, and frankly, don't throw you to the ground when you get shot in the leg. It's all about that sweet, sweet immersion. Oh, and I'm also immersed hearing- oh, did you see him? He's right over there. Fortunately, I have 2 F1 grenades in my rig, so I'm gonna give him one. Wow, that was close, okay. He does not want to give up his position. Why does he want to kill me so badly? Doesn't he know I'm just trying to show everyone how to have better performance in Tarkov? Good heavens. Of course, my screen is full of sharpening effect because of the meds that I'm on right now, but also because of the adrenaline from the realism mod. Is that him or is that the forklift? I think that's the forklift. There's actually a mod, but for removing all of the sharpness in the game, no matter what happens to you, and there might even be some options to expand on that a little bit. Now look up what the name of that mod is, because I don't have it running right now. I'm not positive that it's updated for 3.6.1, or that it works regardless. I haven't tried it since 3.5.8. But it's very useful, and that can actually help performance a little bit. If you find that you're having worse performance for some reason when the game gets all sharp and full of effects from injuries and stuff, that might be a good mod to try. Also, if there are other ways of removing sharpness or those medication effects that I don't know about, please let me know in the comments, because that can get annoying sometimes. I like the immersion of it. It's that, you know, good realism whatever that I was talking about earlier, but it can be really tough. Oh man, it really sucks having lost that leg. Pretty soon I'm gonna, yeah, in 80 seconds I'm gonna be out of painkillers, and then I'll be limping. Well, I'm still getting over 80 frames a second, that's good. That will change a little bit as I get into a firefight, but just for walking around a building, of course it's very good. Looks good, feels good. Of course, from my perspective, I'm seeing all sorts of, like, rendering problems and weird wonky things that are happening with, like, shadows and textures, especially at a distance. And I'm gonna post my, my graphics settings that I currently have applied right now. They're not on ultra. Everything is not, at maximum right now. I think I have it set to the high preset with some customizations, and the medication has worn off, so I'm gonna have that vignetting effect now for a little while. The game appears to be, basically throttling texture quality based on available memory for me, I think. Because sometimes I'll be running around, and, the plants, for example, like the bush brush, will be very low resolution while everything else is high resolution, and I think that might actually be across all quality settings. That might just be a bug with Tarkov. I'm not sure. I know there's still a bunch of graphical mods, and I mean, even this right here, this little, like, blue paint texture on the wall, I don't know why that's happening. That might... Some things are actually as a result of the FOV changes that take place, as a result of some of the things that, some of the mods that change Tarkov. Some textures are not good at loading very close to the camera, or inside, like, the weird sphere of the camera at times, and so it can look strange. I get some pop-in problems every now and then. I wouldn't say they're really problems, because at these graphic settings, I'm still, as you can see, I'm still getting a decent frame rate, and it's much better than it used to be for me. I'm used to playing Tarkov at, like, below 30 frames a second, at, like, 1366 by 768, just to be able to play it, you know what I mean? That's the way it used to be before I was able to build a gaming PC, and even now, this thing is starting to get a little... Oh! A little old. Ouch, that's my leg. See, I'm really hoping that this scav will just come up and try to kill me, but he's being a very wise combatant, and staying in cover, trading fire with me, and resisting my attempts to draw him out. So that in itself is pretty realistic. This one is doing much better than the scav at the stairs. He must be on some weaker substances, or he's abstaining so that he can do better in Tarkov. Which is super dangerous for me, because as you can see... Ouch! Ugh! My leg! Oh, there's that as well, did you see that? There's like a light source that'll pop off, and then as I approach, pops on. I noticed that also most prominently in the reserve map. Inside one of the buildings, there's like a glow stick that does that in particular, and I think some of the other light fixtures do too, I can't be certain. But, yeah, as long as I don't get blasted through this glass up here right away, I think, hopefully, I'll be able to do battle with that guy. Even if I have to go back downstairs and fade all the way back in that direction. I still have one grenade. So hopefully I'll be able to keep him at bay. Can I spot him? Where'd he get to? I'm assuming he's, like, back in that direction hiding, and of course I'm really putting myself in danger here because I'm not going to be able to retreat quickly, especially if he's on the ground pointing his rifle up, which... Oh, I saw him! He's over there by the porta potties. But what'll he do? Oh, he'll shoot me! That's what'll happen. I was distracted. I was about to start talking about textures at a distance again, and then I got shot in the armor for it. Good grief. Okay, here we go. Designator on. Walking slowly. Checking carefully. Shooting, maybe? Pop, 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 pop right there. No? Still in cover, perhaps? Can I hear him? No, I cannot. Let's advance a little bit more slowly. I see that I'm in the 70s now. As I move around and spawns get shuffled a bit, more scavs come in, I'll have a bit of frame drop. That's pretty normal for Tarkov in general. And I'm sure that the majority of people don't have like an amazing gaming rig that's pretty much guaranteed to perform well no matter what you throw at it. Because, as I'm sure you're aware, the ceiling for performance with software like editors or something like that, or in video games, especially new ones, is pretty well defined. If you can do certain things, you know that you can do pretty much everything else beneath the magnitude of that thing. So, you know, back in the day, if you could run Crysis 3, well, you could run just about anything, you know? We're a little far beyond Crysis 3 now. Tarkov has very demanding parameters. And even so much as, like, bots running around and carrying out animations, firing guns, setting off, like, muzzle flashes and sound effects and stuff. Whoa, dude. Can impact performance when PC hardware is not prepared for it. Did you see that stutter just there? And of course, it's not really all that bad or anything. It's still forgivable, and I'm still playing the game, of course. There are many times when I would prefer it. Oh! Whoa! Huh? What? Wow. Okay. So we're here now. How useful. Anyway, let's check the performance in at the reserve map in a rainstorm under the same settings as I had over there in the customs map. So I can already tell that I'm getting worse performance here on this map in this way. I'll disable the rain in just a moment and see what happens. But let's see here. And of course, with a grain of salt, each of these frame rates you should take, because I am running Audacity and OBS at the same time right now. And OBS alone requires a little bit of performance to be able to record in the background. And I do have it trying to record the best quality that I can manage at the storage limitations that I am working with. So let's see. Back up to 86 now. Some textures have loaded in. Things are starting to cache a little bit and the memory is working itself out. Much better than a moment ago. Of course it does go down as I move further. They may be including new spawn locations and excluding some others, so that's being changed as per the Donuts plus SWAG map. No activity yet, and of course still no PMCs because I'm still using the same, obviously, you know, wave preset. Or scenario preset, as it might be called in the BepInEx menu. Oh, I wonder if I can, here, check out the lighting situation here. There it is. That glow stick that's on the second floor back there, as I approach the stairs, turns on. Not sure why that happens, but we may as well go into the Amand's graphics mod, because that is another one playing a huge part here in this process. An unnecessary mod, but one that I think, and I feel, and of course many others do as well, that it makes Tarkov look and feel much better. And it has some cinematic features that I have on at the moment. I have motion blur, HBAO, and surround depth of field, and of course UI depth of field on. I turned off weapon depth of field and optic depth of field. Man, that's a lot to say in a row, depth of field so many times. Because I do think that those impact performance negatively. Even just a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit smoother with those disabled. And, let's see, there are some lighting changes that can be put into effect through the Amand's graphics mod. The sun and sky color are both changed. There's an effect, or a setting here for lights used linear intensity, which changes, as you can see, the magnitude of lights in the environment, so with it on, things seem a little bit more realistic because there aren't, I suppose, magical light sources shining through surfaces or over or across them in some way, where they probably shouldn't exist. And then... Wow, so noisy. And I'm pretty sure I hear footsteps coming in too. Sorry if I keep stopping as I speak, but I definitely hear someone sneaking around. Oh, do you hear that? Sounds like he just checked the magazine of a Taz or something. He's down there. Oh! What'll he do? I have the advantage on the high ground. And an EOTech that I can lean my face closer to, courtesy of Fontaine's FOV fix and variable optics, of course, one of my favorite mods that I use all the time. Okay. I suppose he won't do anything for now. Back to the very interesting light sources. So, yes. This is with that setting disabled like it would normally be. It's a bit darker. It's almost as if light sources aren't carrying far enough from where they are, you know what I mean, their origin point. So if I were to enable it, this area right here becomes brighter. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to fix things like the light source flipping off, and we can see that if I toggle that, it is still in effect, but you can see sort of like the ambient glow sort of in a different way. And then if I turn it back on, it becomes a little bit brighter. It diffuses and reflects off surfaces a little bit more so that I would imagine it's more realistic in that way. It's at least more cinematically realistic. It's the sort of realism that I want. Ah, see, it flips off again when I get over here. That might just be the game turning it off because I'm not nearby and it's not going to deal with that. But it's just very annoying how the light just shines straight up through the floor. And let's see here. Color correction curves, don't change that or anything. Oh, check that out. So I suppose it's still present, but just less intense with that setting disabled. Let's come over here and investigate the weather and sky a bit. Turn on the weather mod, activate weather debug, bring down the cloud density some so that we can see the sky very clearly. Come out here, look around real fast to make sure that I won't get absolutely annihilated standing around talking. Oh, I can hear him moving down there. I'm going to close this door so that I have the advantage if he should come to investigate me. Alright. Let's see here. There is a sky color option. And as you can see, it mostly influences the lighting coming from the sky. So the regular sky glow. And then I imagine it'll be the same for the sun. And we'll be able to see that wherever, but... I just wanted to see if I could actually... Yeah, there's the sun. If I hit this, change sun color... What does that do? Can I see what it does? It seems very subtle if it's doing anything. If I look over here maybe and then toggle it a bit. Nope, I don't really see a difference with that. Anyway, there are also other options for making slight changes to the graphics. There are options like these just to sort of make things a little bit easier on the performance, or a little bit harder, I suppose. I'm trying to disable fog in as many ways as possible to save in that way so that my graphics card isn't dealing with like volumetric fog. In addition to everything else on the map, it's just not really necessary. I do like it, but my 2060 doesn't necessarily like it quite so much. And as I look around now, maybe that was just because I was in the BepInEx menu. Or because I'm looking in this direction and all those things are trying to load too. I'm sure you can see like the trees in the distance sort of struggling to load properly. And the horizon almost always looks a little, not so great. Perhaps different on full ultra, but yeah, like that tree in the distance. Oof. Oh boy. Not so amazing. And of course all the shadows and the aliasing that's sort of battling itself over there to keep the performance where it's at. It is a sacrifice. And I've never liked how Tarkov looks below maximum settings, but that is my chief lamentation. I suppose that's just going to be something that I have to be able to aspire to, you know. I need to be able to build stronger gaming computers for all this Tarkov stuff as it develops. So the advanced settings for the Amand's graphics mod reveal even more that you can do to fine-tune the graphics available to you. And I'm not sure if, wow. Did you see the frame dip for that? Down to 37 and 30 now? That's intense. Of course, I am looking at all these options in the BepInEx menu too, but still, I'm sure that was influenced by the gunfight that just took place. Ooh, 28. Good grief. Anyway. I'm not so sure if micromanaging these settings would increase your performance necessarily. You might find that some things do, but overall, the thing that comes to my mind right now that I would want to deal with the most is probably the sample count for motion blur. I'm actually going to bring that down to 5, not 51. And I'll leave that as it is. Maybe that will reduce sort of like the intensity of motion blur as it is on the screen, or at least the magnitude at which it is rendered. So still at about 58, 56 frames a second now. Reserve has a... oh man, what's the ceiling for spawns? I can't even remember, but there can be quite a few AI roaming around doing things. The scavs are probably opening and shutting containers, looting each other, getting new weapons, and sorting their inventory and stuff. Oh, I just heard that guy again. And, did you see that? There's another pop-in situation. You see that filter or whatever that is on the floor? There's like some grating that's popping in right there as I move away and approach. I think I actually demonstrated that one time with FreeCam. The distance of loading in objects in the world can be very easily seen with a free camera, because as you're flying around and you get far away from, or even not very far away from things, just like out of perspective range from what your character's eyeline would be, they vanish. Whoa! Oh my god, that's right, I didn't reload! Wow. Not so great. That was a bad move on my part. But you know what? It's his fault for scaring and spooking me so. Huh, did he just lie down on the ground and hope that he could maybe get a shot at me? He must have been absolutely wasted. Anybody else want to try anything crazy? No? Good. Let's take a look in here and see what the difference is with Amand's graphics mod on and off real fast, just because we've been doing that. Insert is the default key to toggle it. So this is what default Tarkov looks like right here. It's much more dim, much more poorly lit. If I toggle Amand's back on, it's almost like it's a different game. All the textures are handled differently in the world. They become more visible to my eyeballs. And I think that generally it just sort of looks more vibrant, looks more alive, a lot of things look more present. The default system for Tarkov's graphics I do love because it's very cinematic. It's like there's a photo filter on everything, and that color is what attracted me. One of the things that attracted me to the game very strongly early on. But when it comes to the needs of my player character here in the raid... oh yeah, sorry. That's happening because there's also a spawn point adding key that's mapped to the insert key as well, and I just haven't changed that. But I promise I won't be toggling that very much more, if at all, ever again in this video. Ah, man, that pop-in, so bad. Let's take a look at my actual in-game graphics settings real fast. Yep, there we go. Go to graphics. Okay. So I probably went to Ultra and tuned things down a little bit. Because I see the texture quality is on high, shadows are on Ultra. This is my load distance and everything, LOD rather, quality. Overall visibility. Anti-aliasing is on TAA, I've got HBAO on max performance. SRR is on high, per filter, or per texture filtering for anisotropic settings. And I've tried to reduce sharpness as much as possible for just the regular, you know, in-game graphics. And these are my buffer sizes and stream disk usage limits and stuff like that. I've disabled grass shadows and don't have noise because I noticed that both of those require more performance to run. even though they do look so good. Oh, and also, what's more, the noise makes it more difficult to render the video on YouTube, so the upload won't look as good if the picture's all noisy, because it'll be full of artifacts and may not render as well. There's another mod that I know of that I haven't been able to get working lately, and I need to try again, but there was a cool mod that I can't remember the name of, and I'll put it on here, of course, on the screen for you. But it dynamically reduced the resolution of everything outside your optic, so if you were looking down a scope that would normally, you know, require magnification or give you more magnification in sight, it would reduce the, whoa, resolution of, the game world. Oh, dude, do you want to please get in this window right now? Thank you. Around the scope so that it would save frames, and it actually did so pretty well. I actually have in one of my videos myself trying to get it to work, and it just wasn't working in that current installation. But before, when I was testing it, it was functional and it was very helpful, so I'd like to see if maybe I can get that running again. It would definitely be a good option for folks who are trying to save frames, if it works for them on their SPT installation. It'd be a good idea to use. Where did that guy go? Or where even was he? Didn't sound like he was in a building. He was shouting at me, and it was very clear to hear. So one thing that's interesting is that, I know that a lot of folks are against motion blur in games, and I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's a vision thing or a motion sickness thing, but it definitely makes games look and feel much smoother and more cinematic to me, which is why I like to have them on. And here in Tarkov, when the frame rate can be so all over the place, shall we say, it actually kind of helps to, to blend the stuttering a bit, to make it look and feel more natural and compensate for the jitter. Hence why I still have it on. I'm gonna run across. Oh, I saw that guy over there on my left. So much activity out here. Yeah, performance is much smoother for me on maps like Customs. Even though I don't go there very often, of course, Factory performs very well. There's no, like, outside world to render. And, well, as we've seen, and of course most of you already know, Tarkov maps aren't super well optimized. There's just so much... Whoa, hello. That guy is pretty well outfitted for a scav. Doesn't really sound like a scav, ouch! Good grief, man, I wasn't prepared to deal with you today. Have a spicy pineapple. Back off, man, give me some room. Where'd he get to? I think he ran around to the right. Yeah, so, oh my god. Fighting does not help the performance here in Reserve. It's not unplayable. But it would be getting there pretty closely. Fortunately, when I'm playing on my own, I obviously don't have OBS running. So my performance would be a little bit better, and I wish I had a way to show that. I guess I could set up a camera and point it at my screen, but good grief, man, it's almost 2025, I don't feel like doing that today. Yep, okay. I think I spotted him. But I need to not be here. Also, on the off chance that you are watching this video in 2025, what's up? This was recorded in September 2023, and, I'm super curious about what the future is going to be like. Big year 2025, you know? A lot of stuff's supposed to happen. Oh. Oh, man. Double kill. Did you see that? Unarmored scavs go down quickly. Wow, there's just a bunch of them out there. Open fire. Reload. Who's all out there? Bunch of dead scavs. Is it he behind that sign there? Oh, I got him. That was a headshot too, wow. So almost every time I get a headshot in this game, almost no matter what the map is, if I have OBS running, I get a little bit of stutter. And I think it's because Visceral Dismemberment is running, and it's like causing the head to explode and creating jibs, and then adding the the brand new textures of like the gore and stuff. Whoa, see that guy? I think that's who was shooting at me before. Oh, he turned and I missed him. He's covered in armor. All he could do was stand in place against the wall while I hammered him with rounds, and now I'll shoot him in the groin just one time to make sure he doesn't get up. Let's see, another feature of Amand's graphics mod is actually... Let's see here. Mystical Glow. If I turn off Mystical Glow, you'll notice that things get a lot darker, and I think that's because Mystical Glow is handling all of the extra and very, very useful light bouncing mechanics that just aren't taking place otherwise. It should not be as dark as it was just now in this hallway, because my human eyes are really, really good at picking up light, and of course there are a lot of light sources, you know, a lot of light is bouncing around. It would not be pitch anything in here, realistically speaking, of course. Cinematically it might be, because, you know, of course Tarkov wants it to be very, very dim and gloomy. And if I do this, you can see that it is just that. There's a lot more banding going on right now. It's very dark. This is going to render very poorly on YouTube right here. So I'll flip things back on, and all the contrast and lighting is repaired and fixed. So basically, it seems to amount to these two things. If you can manage your graphics in such a way that the game is still visibly playable for you, and you can manage the spawns and activities and numbers of bots running around in a raid, then, whoa, you'll be able to, ouch, influence your frame rate in the game. Now, performance in Tarkov has never been an easy thing. It's never been a fully optimized game, and it's very resource intensive, almost no matter what you do. So, don't think that everybody else is having an easy time making the game look good, and also don't think that I'm absolutely loving the way that the game looks for me right now, even though I am very, very much appreciative of how it looks now in comparison to how I used to have to play, like I said before. And I do feel fortunate to be able to have as much of a gaming PC as I do, despite its age at the moment. And I can't wait to get something bigger and better so that I'll be able to run SPT in all its glory with much freedom, and also not much fear from that guy over there, because geez man, I've been getting shot and stuff. Well, fortunately my body is okay, and now the train is even arriving, my goodness. Let's go do some fighting. I don't want to be kept at bay by that fellow Tarkov person. Alright, we good? Designator on. I can hear him. Let's try and move up on him a little bit. I don't know if he's injured or if I shot him or not. He's doing that thing. I got him. Okay, cool. I managed to hit him in the head in that volley. There's still more somehow roaming around out there. So I haven't been using it yet, but Amand's graphics mod also touches on the flashlight. Let's check out the differences there. Let's see here. Flashlight on, off. Alright, so this should be the default flashlight. And of course, this is with the rest of the graphics mod's parameters in effect. Let me come back in here, re-enable it. So I can already tell that it's brighter with the actual setting turned on. And if I turn the mod all the way off, yeah, it pretty much just makes the flashlight brighter and affect more of the area. Sorry about all those prompts there. I will change that later. But I am definitely glad to have a mod to influence flashlights, because the default flashlights aren't always so great, or weren't always so great as it were. And, what's more, I'm using the Better Lasers version of the Better Lights and Lasers mod, and not the Lights version. Whoa, there's a lot of activity. You can see that as they're running around and doing all that stuff, it's impacting my performance, and I need to get over here and reload again. If you're used to a low-performing computer, you're familiar with the concept of, like, managing your movement and turns to play with the stutters and try not to... whoa. To lose too much gameplay to them, because I sort of anticipate them happening and move in such a way that I'll still be able to play the game. Oh my gosh. Whoa, close. But I got him. The volumetric blood added by the visceral dismemberment mod probably does impact performance a little bit. I haven't tried with or without to see the difference, but I imagine it must have some impact because it is attaching more decals to pretty much any place in the environment and adding more blood on the ground wherever someone should spend time bleeding. Oh man, get this corpse out of the way. Visceral ragdolls. Alright. That's enough of all that. You're under arrest. Jeez, man. That's actually pretty realistic. Whew. Okay. 9 left. Oh gosh, the performance is so bad right now. Yeah, I don't typically like to play in reserve while recording for this purpose. I usually have to do a lot more managing ahead of time to make sure that the recording goes smoothly if I'm going to play here in this map. And I intentionally did not do this so that we would see what happened. There are also things that you can do outside of game that unfortunately I can't show you here. But if you join my Discord, we could probably talk about that. Oh man, there are settings that other mods have available to affect the game that can reduce the bot count, item count, and other things that are actually present in the raid, specifically to improve performance, even though it does reduce the amount of things in general that become available to you as a player. It will make the game more playable overall, because performance will be higher. And I see that guy way over there. I'm gonna take a pot shot at him and see if I can provoke his interest. Oh, I got him! That was a headshot, wow. Yeah, the kill feed of the HUD mod that I've been using has been very, very useful to figure out the effectiveness of ammunition across mods. Very, very useful. As well as determining...
You just got jammed.
Whoa, my god, did you see that? That went very poorly. I stepped out, he was right there. He was aiming at me already, and I pulled the trigger on an empty rifle again. Sheesh. Or is it not empty? Do I need to... Oh, it was jammed, I see. Oh man. I just had a jam in like the worst possible place and got shot somewhere in the body that I don't know anymore because I was able to fix that problem quickly enough. Put some more Perfotora blue blood or whatever in my pocket, so that when I get shot by a hostile in Tarkov, I can, in a panic, stab myself with powerful medications to overcome that nonsense. Man, this body is really giving me a tough time. I wish that Visceral Ragdolls gave you some sort of option to move corpses, so that they would be less of a problem. I think he's moved around to the side here. Let's go. Oh! Oh my god! Oh, he's reloading! Oh. Okay. Let's move on to the last map that I want to talk about today. Alright, and now we'll try Factory. Easily the best performing map of all the ones that I try. With no PMCs, it should be very smooth indeed. And let's see here. If I toggle on Amand's graphics mod, it becomes so much more visible. Don't get me wrong. I like the way that vanilla Factory looks. This is what sold the game. And sold me on it. But this is just so much easier to see, you know what I mean? There's just all the detail, all the contrast, all the ambient lighting. Everything that should be there is there, and now I can be much more competent as a combatant here in this space. The frame rate is pretty good. It's doing a lot of jumping between 100 and 80 or 70, but... Oh, got some bot activity happening. Someone from behind me. Oh, wow. On the stairs over there? Yeah, I think so. Wow. So, I suppose per the realism mod, since he wasn't wearing a headset, and I'm firing TKM ammunition with no suppressor, that, stepping into the room and shooting directly at him was real bad for that guy's senses. It took me a few shots to actually hit him. I wonder if maybe the debilitations forced him to lag just a bit. Or maybe he got scared, because I saw him turn away. Maybe he was just going to try running away. And fleeing me altogether. Where's this guy? Oh, wow, okay. There are a couple of them running around. I do think that I could get away with turning all the graphics settings for myself all the way up in factory. You can probably see the texture directly to my left, kind of loading in and out of, fidelity. Just because the area is so small and, more manageable. Who could say for sure, but... Oh, my grenade got somebody. He's hit. So here, even when I'm firing around and there's muzzle flashes and sparks and things, there's not as much of a hit to my performance as there was before. A high thorax shot for that one. Scabs freak me out. They're all hopped up on weird stuff, unhealthy and malnourished and wearing strange gear. They do weird things. I hear that guy. Is he above or out here? Whoops, that was a misfire. I was scrolling my mouse wheel and threw my finger out a little too far forward. Sounds like he's out here. But I don't see him. Say, have you ever seen the famous locker room with a different graphics setting? This is what it normally looks like. This is pretty much what it looks like in all the media where anything takes place in this place. With Amand's graphic settings on, it looks very different. A bit more green, much more visible. No less terrifying. But plenty exciting besides. I suppose if someone only wanted to play the factory map in Tarkov, they could, and they could say that they always have good performance whenever they play the game. It's just a shame that machines with lesser power really just can't experience the full breadth of the maps, the other maps, as they are. Because they're so cool and big, and there's so much to find, and so much to do and interact with. And it translates to a lot of loot if you can explore that far, you know? And actually manage the time and the space and the distance. Personally, I'm a big fan of retro-style graphics to begin with. And I spend a lot of my free time playing, like, PlayStation 1 and Sega games and stuff. And, I like how some games have gotten, like, a quote-unquote demake. Like, there's the famous Bloodborne demake. There was some other demake that I can't even remember right now, but it's just really cool. I was kind of hoping that there would be a game like Tarkov in the Stalker style, you know, that came out with a low-poly graphical theme. I figured that would be very fitting and very cool. Where is he? Right there? Let's go up and find out with over 100 frames per second. That's right, back up. I'll make your ears ring. that a flashlight? Or is that just a flickering light? Either way, I'm pretty sure I hear the scrunching of footsteps over here. I still have 15. Where is he going exactly? Oh my god, that's where he went. Ah! Ah! Impressive. Through my shooting, he managed to hit me. I was deliberately throwing a lot of TKM at him to discourage him from doing that. Great. Well, thanks so much for all of that. I gotta use more special medicine. Okay. Well, guys, I think that pretty much covers what I know about handling performance and graphics in Tarkov. There are some other mods that I can't really show you because they do things outside of the game, but we can discuss that at some other time. Believe me, there are options. If you're struggling to run SPT at a decent frame rate, there is a way to help you, I'm sure. There are mods out there that are good and useful, the ones that I'm using here and the other ones that I recommended, and even some that I probably don't even know about. If you know about some ones that are good for graphics and performance here in Tarkov, please leave them in the comments. Is that somebody walking around over here that I hear? Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, so any other helpful mods for performance and graphics, please let me know in the comments what they might be. I'm planning on doing a video in the future where I roll back to 3.5.8 and try some of those myriad mods that worked very well for that installation, even though it'll lack a lot of the things that are included in these more recent updates, which I really like. It might be useful to go back and do that, especially to help out users with lower-end computers that really struggle no matter what they do, with the right combination of mods that could reduce Tarkov to a magnitude suitable for their computer, basically. But if you're about in the mid-range like I am, with a 2060 or some equivalent, perhaps, even with some AMD cards that are of the equivalent. I hope that this video was at least a little bit helpful and maybe even encouraging to those who are looking to improve their performance and their graphics and the way that Tarkov looks and behaves for them. If you'd like to hear about anything else, let me know, and I'll work them into the next videos. Be sure to stay tuned for next time, when I think I'm going to be covering, the next video will be all about custom weapons and how to get them, the custom weapons available in the SPT Realism mod, some of the mods that influence weapon modding and storage and stuff like that. We're going to get over some cool stuff. So make sure you stay tuned. Come back for that episode when it comes out, and I'll give you a heads up before it does. Once again, I want to say thank you very much to all of the SPT modding developers that give their time so generously to help us enjoy Tarkov that much more. We appreciate you very much. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. All of you be well and healthy, make sure to drink water while playing SPT, and I'll see you next time.